In this video I will show you two things that I've noticed about the relationship between the 5 Chinese elements and the major pentatonic scale in Chinese philosophy. I am not well versed in Chinese philosophy, so these things may seem completely irrelevant or incidental to someone who knows it well. If you know more about this than me, then please let me know in the comments or share links. The 5 Chinese elements are earth, metal, water, wood and fire. As a group, they are known as the Wuxing. There are relationships between the elements, a cycle of generation in which earth generates metal, metal generates water, water generates wood, wood generates fire, and fire generates earth. And a related cycle of conquering that you can derive from the first cycle by moving forwards 2 steps at a time instead of 1. For example, water puts out fire. Fire can be used to melt and shape metal, and metal tools can be used to cut down trees and shape wood. In Chinese philosophy, the elements are associated with the major pentatonic scale. If we call the main note of this scale C, then the scale is C, D, E, G, A and C. And the elements are associated with those notes in the order earth, metal, wood, fire, water and back to earth, respectively. I was surprised when I first encountered that ordering. I would have expected metal to be E and wood to be D. That way, going 1 step along the circle of fifths takes you 1 step around the generating cycle of elements. However, I noticed 2 patterns that fit with which note is which element in the proper order. I don't know whether these patterns are a thing in Chinese philosophy, but they are straightforward and mean you can work out which note is associated with which element if you have forgotten. First, when the tonic is set to earth, which makes sense with earth being associated with the centre in Chinese philosophy, then as we go around the cycle of generation, each element is associated with a note slightly further away from the tonic in pitch. Metal, D, is 2 semitones above earth, C. Water, A, is 3 semitones below C. Wood, E, is 4 semitones above C. And finally, fire, G, is 5 semitones below C. The major pentatonic scale, as used in Chinese music, is in Pythagorean intonation. That means that the frequencies of all the notes are related to the frequency of the tonic, the main note of the scale, by ratios made up by multiplying and dividing powers of 2 and 3. If we find the smallest set of whole numbers that have that pattern of ratios, with the tonic as the lowest number, we get the numbers 64, 72, 81, 96 and 108. The second pattern I found is that if you take those numbers and find the remainders of those numbers when you divide by 7, you get the numbers 1 to 5 in the order of the generating cycle of elements. I must stress that either or both of these patterns may be irrelevant to genuine Chinese philosophy, but I think they are cute and helpful patterns. You can, and I do, apply these patterns to other scales in order to derive elemental associations for those scales. As far as I know, that has no basis whatsoever in Chinese philosophy, but that won't stop me.